Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. So, today is finally here, the day where we get the comparison between the MXR Bass Synth pedal, just released, this great one right here, the Future Impact V4 VIP, right here, the C4 Synth by Source Audio, and the Meris Enzo X. All these pedals are amazing. In their own right, each one, let's get this microphone straight here. Each one can sound good with the proper settings. You just need to know what you're doing with each one. And of course, you can always stay tuned. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button to get all that good information that you normally get from me on that account. So let's get rock and rolling here. First off, I've replaced all the presets in the MXR Bass Synth, all the presets. None of the presets that you're going to hear, rather, from any of these pedals are stock presets. I don't use stock presets because they typically aren't the best sound I can get from those devices. So I always build all of my own, and this is no different. So what you were just listening to there, right, that's coming from the MXR Bass Synth. See, give it a little bit more juice there. So, if you're brand new to this pedal, or you're thinking about getting it, some things to consider, right? You will have to memorize the secondary functions of the pedal, which is easier said than done, right? So even I keep, if I'm going to edit sounds, I keep that the manual up, or I keep it's a little picture I have that has all the secondary functions on it. So that just helps out tremendously. But this is about as close as I could get to the actual Michael Jackson Thriller sound. This is not made from the preset that was on here. I found that was nowhere near close, right? I got it spot on, like exact on the Future Impact. And you know that if you go to my Patreon right now, you can actually download separately from the Future Impact pack. You can download the Michael Jackson. It's just Michael Jackson synths. It's just 4 sounds in there, but get you these exact ones. Right? Right? We compare that to the, I couldn't even get close on the, like, I'm not gonna say I couldn't get close on the Enzo X. It probably would just take me a lot longer than I would like to. And same thing with the C4 Synth. It's not that they are complicated to work. All of these actually work very similar, very similarly. While everything is on this pedal, you do have to access the secondary functions by pressing down and holding either voice or shape. And the voice parameters pretty much are ones you really need to know off the top of your head. And then you need to also know a couple of the shape ones, you know, mainly the output gain and the drive through effect. So that right there would be for that pedal. For the Enzo X, you know, you can either do it on the pedal, you can do it entirely on the pedal. You got a screen there, and you got fully functioning user interface on the pedal, as well as it has a company software. And then C4 Synth, you got to use the app or software on the computer. And Future Impact, you have to use the software. But I find using the software, you know, of course, on the computer, you get a much bigger screen. You know, you can see everything laid out very easily. So that's some of the editing differences between them. Now, you know, now in terms of memory, well, let's go through a few sounds. I don't want to talk all day. Right, so that's pretty much. So here's the actual, well, not actual, but here's a better version of that same sound from the Future Impact. Stay tuned. You'll find out. You'll find out. That's literally what we're talking about now. We're comparing all 4 of them, rather. So just stay tuned. We'll get around to the Enzo X. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here and subscribe. All that good stuff if you haven't already. What's going on, Laurie? Appreciate you stopping by, as usual. Usual suspects starting to show up. You know, definitely appreciate y'all. So let's keep it moving. So that's a. Versus the MXR. Did I change it? Yes, I did. And I can change the sensitivity a little bit on here. Bring this up. Yeah, all of them prefer that you play above the 12th fret. What's going on? Appreciate you, Big Sono. Stop and pass. We got this comparison going on here. So, you know, I would say out of those two sounds, I like that Future Impact a lot more. Definitely has a bigger, more, it sounds more analog. Sounds exactly like the actual sound. I did a whole video on this, you know. So it just gets you a lot closer, but you can get decently close. I feel like you could get, you know, I was able to get that a lot closer than a lot of the videos I saw, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the sound. But all right, so let's hear a little bit from like the C4 Synth. Now this isn't going to be a Thriller sound or a Michael Jackson sound in general. This is just going to be comparing some different types of bass synths. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these, I think of as like different like keyboards. It's like if I was carrying around 4 different keyboards, I wouldn't expect all of them to sound the exact same. All this oscillators and everything to sound the same. This is more so a, you know, just to show you the differences between them. You know, I would say out of all of them, my favorite to play bass synth through is the Future Impact V4 VIP. You know, but the synths I get from the other ones are slightly different. So like with the Future Impact, I'm getting like all my vintage synth type stuff. So well, let me do this C4 sound real quick. See, this is what I'm saying. Like that's C4 synth. Don't sleep on it. So certain patches track better than others on the C4 Synth, but you can definitely get it to do some work in there for sure. Even on the chord side of the game, the harmonizer is one of my favorite effects in there, and we'll add a little bit of reverb for that. See what I'm saying? And this is what it sounds like by itself. So, you know, you can get some really nice sounds with the C4 Synth because there's a lot in there that a lot of people really don't take the time to explore. I'm not sure why they don't like it as much, but, you know, I like another little chordal patch. So, you know, you can get some really, really nice sounds with the C4 Synth. So you just can't sleep on it. You gotta really experiment. Or, I mean, of course, everything except for the MXR Bass Synth I have packs for. And again, I'm going to do a video preset pack for the MXR Bass Synth where I'll go into detail how to get all these different sounds. You know, it definitely, anything can be a learning curve. You know, I might even just like get a hold of like maybe like a PDF layout of it and do it that way. Just like show the settings that you need to get it in the ballpark of. But we'll see. So let's go back. And again, all these presets I'm using are created by me. Even for the MXR, I pretty much went through and changed everything on there. Oh, I did change everything. Most of these aren't even from the presets. And the thing I love about synths, you can change subtle things. So to get from this sound to, so I wanted to take that down a couple octaves. Like right now, I'm using only the upper voices. And then, so I just changed the mix on stuff. So I'll go, first of all, I'll just take that off. Right? I can go from that to keep rolling over this. But yeah, so you can go from, that's almost like changing the octave of things, and of course you can mix those three different elements together, the sub octave and so you can always, do that. And then you still got your preset there. And you didn't even change anything but change the octave of it. You know what I'm saying? So that gives you a few options when it comes to the presets. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. I don't like none of the presets. Like, I think all the stock presets I just completely, just did my own thing over top of them. But, it actually it surprises me, but doesn't surprise me because most things of this nature, a lot of people don't really study the manual too much. They just get to turn the knobs instead of learning where things are, so you can actually and learning what things do. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to know what that filter cutoff does, what the envelopes do. The glide function and things like that in order to get the sounds you're looking for. Because I can take that sound, put a little glide so you can get not just the bass sounds, you can, of course, get some solo sounds in there. Like I said, not the absolute Again, you know, just mess around with my settings. Let me bring this down just a smidge. Let me check something real quick. But yeah, so yeah, you can get some great sounds out of that little unit. You know, it is simple. Just don't think it's gonna be what the future impact is. That's what I can't explain enough. Like, say now if it's, would I choose this over the C4 synth? Like, if I had to choose, it'd be definitely, I would choose the MXR Bass Synth over the C4 synth. The tracking is the tracking on the bass, the MXR Bass Synth is really good, you know, but it's really good on the Future Impact. It's really good on the Enzo X as well. So it just depends on what sounds you're going for. Like, it's going to be a limited amount of sounds, but I think you can get some really good ones if you just take the time to learn the pedal. You know, I definitely was able to do. I just got this pedal yesterday, and I was able to do 8 presets and learn all the settings. You know, with the help of the manual, keeping that close. I also learned that I like, thank you, I appreciate it. Feel free to chime in and ask questions about these pedals, about the any of these synth pedals we're going to. So I know I'm spending a little bit of time on the MXR Bass Synth. That's just because that's the brand new, and a lot of you guys that have been following me already know, you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. But yeah. Yeah, I like the tracking on the MXR. I do. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. I also like that octaver too. I got that octaver to sound real warm and, you know, nice sounding. Well, you'll have to subscribe and watch another video to find out about the Rabbit sitar, because we talking about the bass synths today. We ain't doing anything else you see, I ain't even talking about. If it ain't the bass synth pedals that's listed, I ain't doing But nice fat octaver. So I was able to get that real nice and warm, and, you know, always moving forward, always doing something new. You know how we do. Another little solo sound I was managed to create. You know, I wouldn't call this the, you know, my go-to solo sound pedal, but you can definitely, if it's what you got, you can get in the territory. So this is what that sounds like by itself. And I also found out, like, the LFO for the filter, having the filter more regulated by the LFO, like in, you know, which is a setting you can change. You know, that's why I said you got to learn the little settings on the fly and stuff. I mean, not on the fly, but in the manual, keep it nearby. It has to be that the LFO, I guess it frees it up. Maybe some processing power or something somewhere or something, because I noticed when I'm using all three oscillators at once, it's definitely like has a bit of more drag or latency than when I'm using like one. Sound we started with, and so I told you I was able to get some great sounds with this joint. I was able to get some decent sounds with this bass synth, you know. So that's the 8 presets I have, and this is the live setting. That's just controlling the rate of the LFO there. I suppose if you turn up the glide, like say you turn up the glide on there, right? Let's see. A little bit longer. I'm gonna try to do this simultaneously. I guess you could actually have this with a foot switch. Another little feature of this pedal, you can have 2 different settings on one preset with a expression pedal, which I don't have hooked up at the moment, but this is going to kind of simulate what I'll be able to do with that. stuff like that. Glide is pretty clean too. You don't want it to just a smidge. So I'm not gonna get too caught up on this pedal because I'm gonna be doing some more videos about it. But all right, let's move on. So that's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's hop through. We hopped through some of the C4 synths. Let's hop through. I'm gonna go ahead and just say the Future Impact for last, cause we going, well, no, Enzo X will go last, cause like I'm not doing all the modes. Like we're not taking into account all the modes and everything it can do today. I'm just looking at bass synth sounds and some maybe harmony sounds. With the Enzo X, it's polyphonic, so I think it's a little unfair to put that up against the others in the chord aspect, because it's obviously the only one that can do it. But I want to put up the solo sounds and the bass synth sounds that from here, from the Enzo X, against what we be doing with the other one. So we heard a few solo sounds here, heard a few solo sounds, chordal sounds here from the C4 synth. And let's go on. Well, let's go ahead and do the Future Impact real quick, because the bass synths in here just that's not fair. You gotta do the other ones first. Gotta do the other one first. Now, with the Enzo X, I do recommend you boosting your low mids. It doesn't particularly like compressors either. I know one of the problems I'm having with it. I forgot to turn the noise gate back on. Yeah, so those are some of the bass synths. Give me 1 second, guys. So, you know, that entire sound is within the Enzo X. Same thing here. Also, with the added functionality of being able to play all these sounds with a keyboard. Same thing with the Future Impact. You can't do it with the MXR Bass Synth and the C4 Synth, though. So yeah, you can get right to those beautiful leads with the Enzo X. It's perfect for that type of stuff. And the chordal stuff, of course, you know, I'm not gonna go through the pads and stuff. I've done plenty of videos on that, so I don't need to do that. But, you know, of course, another additional feature is the ARPs. The arpeggiator stuff in here. Stuff like this. So, you know, you can do all types of stuff with the ARPs in bass territory as well. So that's my favorite. So this would be my favorite in terms of you can play chords, you can do, you know, all the bass synth stuff. And, you know, you can just in general have it sound good. So it's not really difficult to make it sound good at all. But then you got the Future Impact. You can already hear just the mass destruction there. I think I want to go back down to 15. So, from there you pretty much can pick what you like. From there I like all of them. All of them can be useful for something. And I'm not going to just tell you that for no reason. That all of them are useful and have their own flavor to them. And that's why I said, I would approach it, any synth pedal, as its own thing. Like, stop trying to make everything an ARP 2600 or a Moog or Moog, whatever. Just use it and see if you can get sounds that will inspire you from it. That would be my best advice. Now let's talk value. So the MXR pedal is $285 or $289, something like that, while the C4 Synth is like $260 something, $250, $260. You can get the Future Impact V4 VIP from about $350, and the Enzo X is $600. So, it really depends on what you're going to use them for. So, who would I recommend what for? Okay. To be honest, the MXR Bass Synth is going to be a better option for you than the C4 Synth at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Unless they happen to do some firmware upgrade where they get the tracking just a little better. And you know, the MXR. The only drawback to the MXR is, like I said, you got to memorize that secondary menu, and you also need to change when you first get it. Change those tracking settings and to the 4-string and things like that. But excuse me. Only downside to it is you must have some preamp and compression to run it into. It does have compression on there, but I recommend turning that compression almost off, like maybe to about 9 o'clock at most. And then I run that into, I was just using a tone model on the ToneX 1 of the JHS color box, which I'm talking through right now, but I'm using that same saturation and tone and EQ setting for the ToneX tone model that it's running into. So that into the Source Audio Atlas compressor, 1176 limiter into a LA2A limiter. So with that all, you know, those elements add something to the sound to like finish it. If you just leave the sound from the MXR bass pedal as it is, it's not going to be it's not going to exactly have the effect you want it to have. You know, that's why I keep that on there, because I can just come over here. So none of them track perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that clear now. None of them track perfectly. There isn't a pedal that tracks quite perfectly yet at all. So all of them have their little quirks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you're doing. Like I said, the I like the tracking on the MXR Bass Synth. It is good tracking, but like I said, it's really no better than the Future Impact or the Enzo X. It is better than the C4 Synth though. I'll give them that. And the pedal is simpler to use than the C4 Synth. C4 Synth has quite a bit of learning curve to it, but it doesn't always get you the satisfying results that you want. Compared to the Future Impact V4 VIP, yes, it's an extra hassle of going into the computer, but it also has that satisfying payoff, you know what I'm saying, at the end of it all, that you get the sound ultimately that you're trying to get. Then you also, they pretty much about the same price, but the Future Impact, like the main leg up it has on the competition is in that price range, say that 300 to 350 price range, let's say 250 to 350, within that $100 price range right there, is it can also be used to trigger other synths. So I can play in it to track my bass, I can use the internal synth, or I can MIDI out to another keyboard or to my laptop or to wherever, and use that MIDI to play other MIDI capable instruments, or and different things like that. The Enzo X allows you to play with a keyboard, but it won't take your bass, track it, and send that MIDI out to another synthesizer like the Future Impact will. So that is a huge bonus. Plus, let's talk about size. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back for a second. The Enzo X, it costs so much because it does a heck of a lot, and it has way more in-depth parameters and everything else. This thing is pretty much its own keyboard. That and the Future Impact are pretty much their own, like a keyboard almost. They're real synthesizers for real. They're just in pedal form. So that's one of the biggest differences between like the MXR Bass Synth and these two pedals. But the Enzo X costs you know, that sound quality is really good. I give you just one um, polyphonic thing, and that's $600 worth of sound right there. Yeah, it is. It is. You know, but to be honest, the C4 Synth is the same size as the MXR, and the when you turn, if you were to turn this, hold on, I got the Poly Blue right here. So this the Poly Blue. Poly Blue is the same size, same chassis as the MXR bass pedal. Look, this ain't taking up for the Future Impact VIP to be having MIDI in and out and full MIDI ports on it. That ain't that much more space. That ain't that much bigger. You know what I'm saying? So like that definitely makes a difference. That's that's about the same on the C4 Synth. You know, you need one. Let's see, one, two, three. So the Enzo X takes about 3 spaces of something like the MXR Poly Blue or Bass Synth. So you know, the MXR pedals are what you call like standard size pedals, I believe, but so are like the Source Audio ones. The VIP, the Future Impact VIP, definitely does not take up that much space at all. It's about the same size. You know, now the Enzo X is like 3. It's like having 3, of those pedals side by side. So I hope that helps for a size comparison. Yeah, if you use the Future Impact V4, yeah, it's gonna take up a lot of space. But if you get the Future Impact V4 VIP, that thing the size of my hand. It's not even the size, you know. It's regular size pedal for real. But you know, value wise, the Enzo X and the Future Impact definitely take the cake because they can do so much and they can do it at such a high level and sound quality level. Now, I still feel like the Future Impact has better sound quality than the Bass Synth, MXR Bass Synth, and also has a bigger learning curve. But you can do things like just download my preset pack for it on Patreon for the Future Impact C4 Synth or the Enzo X, and that way you don't have to fiddle around with anything. Compared to the MXR Bass Synth, we only get 8 presets, right? Really, you can call it 9 if you include the live mode. It's kind of like a preset mode as well. So it's, that's, I say 9. But I really say it's really 18 because if you put an expression pedal, when you have it heeled down, it can be one setting. And when you have it heel your toe down, you can have it on a different setting. And when you save it to the preset in the expression pedal and you have those set, it saves that to it. And it just comes back always, when you pull up the preset, it always comes back to the heel down position. So make sure the heel down position is the main one you want. Then and get that where you want it, and then you would change it to the toe, then change those settings, and then you'd be able to go back and forth between the two. Like I said, it's pretty cool. But, this, I don't know what it is with these new MXR pedals. They get warm like they a computer inside or something. I know it do got pretty much a computer inside, but, they definitely get a little warm. Plethora X1 gets a little warm too. It might not even be that. It might, they sitting on top of the power supplies. That might be why those are warm. But these new MXR pedals, like the MXR layers, gets warm too. So, you know, that's something else to consider over time. Maybe it'd be a problem. Maybe it won't. But let me see. So yeah, you get good sound quality with, I mean, you get amazing sound quality with the Enzo X and the Future Impact. And you get good quality, really good quality with the MXR Bass Synth. And you get okay, good quality with the C4 Synth. Now, would I say, what like, the hard part is, because of the presets of the other pedals, it really don't matter if you're a synth master or not. Like, you don't have to be as adept at doing synths as I am. If you have something like the Future Impact Enzo X, you can just download the preset pack from my Patreon or somebody else's who you like, or both, and then you got a bunch of different sounds from different people. You can, the bass synth, you literally have to learn how to use it. There is no getting around it. It's only 8 presets, and 9, we'll call it 18 if you're using the expression pedal. So you really gotta pick what sounds you want to be in those slots. And that's why I said, don't try to keep those built-in presets. They not it. And y'all know I'm not gonna lie to you. The built-in presets, like I said, I wiped all those out. But all the ones I was able to make, you know what I'm saying, within 24 hours, I made those. That is a decent, a small learning curve, you know what I'm saying? It's compared to, took me like a week or two refining and going through the other packs, the Enzo X and the Future Impact, because it was a lot. I wasn't really like super versed in synths in general. So it took me on a couple weeks journey of just learning how synths put together, what every little thing does, how to really use an ADSR, you know what I'm saying, and what it does, and actually be able to hear the differences and be able to decode sounds with it. So that took a while, Future Impact and Enzo X, but they do so much. They have so many features and so many possibilities with the Enzo X having 2 oscillators. The Future Impact has 4, but you get 3 waveforms on each oscillator that you can mix and match. So you can mix and match like a saw, a triangle, and a square. You can mix those all on one oscillator and get a weird, custom waveform with that. You can do that with 4 different oscillators. Then you're running that into 2 different filters, really 3 different filters if you use the bandwidth, bandpass in there. So it's like a dual twin filter. You get an envelope follower. You get the ADSR for the oscillators, which are shaped oscillator sounds, and the filters. Then you still got a harmonizing block with distortion where you can get, classic octavers, up, down, all that stuff, and run that through the filter if you would like. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the chorus, the delay. You got tube overdrive on there, and something else I'm forgetting. You can get different flanger, phaser sounds out of the Future Impact as well. But yeah, it's a great unit, and the cool part about the Future Impact, people don't really understand. The reason why it only has the filter settings on the actual pedal is because that's all you really need on a gig. You don't want to be fooling around with everything else. With the amount of options they give you to change the filter, you can turn one sound into a million different sounds with just changing the filter option. So don't be discouraged by that. You just need the sounds to be set up properly in the first place. Like I'm not getting to a gig trying to set up sounds. I'm getting to a gig and I'm just flipping to the sounds and going because it should be right by then. So yeah, overall I like the MXR Bass Synth. I'm still on the fence about whether it's gonna make it on the board, but if I'm letting the C4 Synth live, the C4 Synth probably not gonna stay on there either. But I might keep that bass MXR Bass Synth because I like that. One, I like the synth sounds that I do get with it. They are pretty cool, and I do also like the octaver setting on there. So that means I don't have to have like add the poly blue to get that MXR octave sound out of it. So that's really cool as well. So. It might make it. It might not. The C4 Synth might be out of here. I mean, yeah, C4 Synth probably coming up off of there. I'm not gonna lie. C4 Synth probably gonna be out of here if any of them out of here. It is a 10-year-old synth. It is the oldest. Let's be fair here. It's literally the oldest of the bass synth pedals up here. The C4 Synth is like 10 years old. Almost. While all of these just came out in the last year. Bass Synth just came out a couple months ago. Enzo X just came out within the last year, and so did Future Impact V4 VIP. So, for Bass Synth, Future Impact V4 VIP. For all your pads, all your lead sounds, and if you want some bass synths in there, and you can get some really good bass synths with the Enzo X, but the Enzo X is going to be what you're going to want, and then if you are somebody that just really I guess just really dislike apps or menus for some reason, some strange reason, it's more than likely, if you don't like those options, it's more than likely because you don't understand it per se. So, and I understand everybody I feel like trying to understand it. I just want to play it. Cool. MXR Bass Synth will get you through, but don't think it's going to replace a keyboard the same way a Enzo X and a Future Impact V4 VIP can replace a bass synth rig. Like, this, you can literally take a Future Impact V4 VIP and a MIDI controller, and you have everything you need. You don't even have to take a MIDI controller. I'm talking about keyboard. You can take your bass, get it done on there. It's just so many things you can do with that pedal, bass-wise, and analog. Like anything with the vintage analog synths, like the monophonic synths, the Future Impact's pretty much going to be able to get you that sound. All your modern synths and FM type synths and things like that, Enzo X is going to be exceptional for you at that. It just depends. Granted, the Future Impact is $350, while the MXR pedal is $285. So, and the Future Impact is available now versus the MXR Bass Synth is on back order. Who knows when you're gonna get one? The only reason I got one is because I saw one happen to be listed, and somebody that got it played it for a little bit, didn't really like it, and they sold it. So, and they didn't hike up the price $1 million. So I got lucky there, but. Other than that, I was waiting like you guys was waiting. You know what I'm saying? I was just sitting here in limbo waiting to see when I could get something to review, So I'm glad I did. It's a good pedal. It's a good pedal. I'll give y'all a quick once over of everything. I'll go back to back with them, with each pedal. So yeah, you get the point. That's pretty much what we got going on here. You know, they both have their. I mean, but all four of them can be used. Now, you know, I wouldn't recommend getting a C4 Synth anyway, even if it was one that, you know, it's an outdated pedal at this point. Like they just doing like they on firmware like 1.22. I mean, it's pretty much the same firmware. You know, they not. I don't think they're planning on completely doing an overhaul of the tracking or anything like that. So I wouldn't be expecting that from them for a 10-year-old pedal. They'll probably be coming out with something else soon. That will probably be you know, a match for the MXR Bass Synth. But, you know, to get like those authentic vintage analog bass sounds, I will go with the Future Impact V4 VIP. To just get you some bass synth sounds that are bass synth sounds, like there's real bass synth, you know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't compare it to anything else, and I would use it to make sounds that I like, the MXR Bass Synth. You know what I'm saying? Now, Enzo X is his own monster, but if I'm going for my solo sounds and my pads and ARPs, stuff like that, I'm going with an Enzo X. Plus, you get the beautiful reverbs and delay in there, stereo delay, as you heard, just beautiful like quality and texture to those pads and things like that. The bass synths are okay. You know, the Future Impact definitely beats everybody in that aspect. And as really rightfully so, that, you know, you came from the Deep Impact through Future Impact 1, version 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I'm saying? And it's just an amazing pedal. Absolutely just, I love, first off, those two pedals, I absolutely love them. You know what I'm saying? Enzo X, Future Impact. If you've been watching me for a while, you know. I do, like I said, the MXR Bass Synth's kind of growing on me. Like I said, it's definitely going to take the C4 Synth's place for stuff. But, you know, only reason I keep that C4 Synth is that chord sound that I like in there. You know what I'm saying? This joint right here. This particular chord sound. That's the wrong. Now, tell me that's not a fire sound. Like, come on, like that's something definitely that the MXR Bass Synth could not even begin to do. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a harmonizer in there, you know, and not only that, but I like the way it harmonizes it, especially on the notes that are not within the key. Yeah. Tell me that's not a great sound. But yeah, I actually got to go now, guys. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. You know, hanging out with the synth shootout of the MXR Bass Synth, C4 Synth by Source Audio, the Meris Enzo X, which is the big gold pedal. It's not orange, or I guess it looks orange, but it's gold, and the Future Impact for V4 VIP. You know, check whatever one you like and whichever one, comment which one you think is the winner down below in the comment section. Which patches you like the most, and which one you feel like got the best tracking, and which one you feel like got the best sound quality. I would love to interact with you guys and hear what you have to say about these wonderful pedals. And like I said, all of them are usable. But you know, I'm glad I got the bass synth in my hands, the MXR bass synth in my hands, so I could actually see what it is that I kept making it sound like a toy. And as you can see, we fixed that. So, you know, now we got a really good sounding synth pedal. It might be on the keep list, so we'll see. But I know it's kicking the C4 Synth off the board. But I'll catch you guys later. If you haven't already, check out my Patreon for all my preset packs for all these different pedals that you see. And if you want to support the channel and do all that stuff, make sure you subscribe, you know what I'm saying, so you know when I'm doing this live. And make sure you hit that like button. Definitely helps me out. You can also send super chat and Cash App if you would like. You know, definitely helps out the channel a lot. And check out my music at allbasscreations.bandcamp, where I actually created an entire album with just my bass and effects. No MIDI. I didn't even use any synth during that time. So it's literally just my bass and effects. I changed my bass sound into different sounds with just effects. So check that out over on Bandcamp and all that good stuff. And follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus. Again, that's at the Bass Negus, Negus, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging with me. Peace.